Yeah. Okay, you guys. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. So happy to have you all here. We are going to do, I feel so lucky that I continue to talk Amy into joining us to teach all of these things that she has learned and like these awesome courses she's put together. So I'm like, hey, why don't we just give a little sneak peek at your big course that's starting soon. This is a new course that she has, building relationship-based business that you love. And I have already seen the outline for it and it is incredible. So I'm like, hey, why don't we just maybe give a little 1 hour sneak peek of some of that really great info, just to give people an idea of what is going to be included in that course. So Amy's in here today to speak with us a little bit more about that. And Amy, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit? I think there's a few people in here that don't know who you are.
Yeah, I actually have a slide for that.
Excellent. Of course you do.
All right. Let me get back to this here. Thanks for joining us, guys. Let's see. You're in the right place if you're interested in building a relationship-based business that you love. So let me just get started. I think it's important for you guys to understand who I am and where I come from so that you can decide if you want to listen to what I have to say or throw it in the trash. So here's a little background so that you know kind of where it comes from. I am a mom. So so far I see all women, and most of the time that means a motherly situation is happening. So I'm a mom, I'm also a wife, and I've operated this business through the process of being a mom and a wife. And you can do it too. That's why I want you to know, and share this with you. You guys can do it too, right? I'm doing two things at once, admitting people and doing my slides. So forgive me. I also sell real estate. Okay. And I think that's a really important, thing to share, because a lot of people that do training don't also sell real estate, and they're a little out of touch with what really happens out there and how things really work. And so I want to share with you that we sell between 40 and 50 houses a year. I do have a buyer's agent on my team, and we have a transaction coordinator. So that's the entirety of our team. We're lean, we're mean, we get the job done, we get in, we get out, we go have fun, right? So that is what we're all about. And it's happening every day. We're selling houses every day. We're doing this just like you are. Just a note, I am a huge Pearl Jam fan, and they are going to be touring in May. So I might be in a town near you, and I might offer a free live in-person class if I have tickets. If you get me tickets, you will be my favorite person ever. They're not easy to come by. So that is another thing to know about me. Sorry, I'm working on doing admin and slides at the same time. All right. I am also a online course creator. And what's funny is before the pandemic, people were like, what are all those screens and lights and everything? And now everybody understands like what it looks like to give an online course and what that setup is. But I love it. It's fun. I've also been, I'm a national speaker when national speaking happens. I haven't been on the road since I was supposed to go to Arizona in March of 2020. And that was the last time. So I've spoken to Inman. I speak at national conferences. I was in Wisconsin. I've been in Arizona, a bunch of different places like that. I hope to be in the Chicagoland area later this year for a nice little 2-day intensive training. So that's what I do. I wrote a book called The Playbook for Success. Some of the stuff that I share is in there. If you don't have the book, reach out to me. I'll make sure to get you one. And I'm a huge fan of Reese's, just in case you didn't know. And I'm in the process of doing a bunch of baking on Friday, and I've got all my peanut butter to make the Buckeyes. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. So if you have any more questions about me, let me know. What I love is that hopefully this is like a lot like you guys, right? You're doing your day-to-day life. You've got kids, maybe you're at soccer, maybe you're at baseball, maybe you're, at church, you're, volunteering here and there, you're the room mom, whatever it is. That's what I've been too, right? And so I just look to ways to maximize what I'm already doing and grow that instead of deciding to start volunteering somewhere because of a business benefit or connection. Keeping it authentic is the key. Being you is the key, and people will be attracted to you. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Be you. I'm going to share tons of ideas, tons of information, and just find the stuff that connects with you. Right. So let's see what we can do here. Okay. So NAR puts out a profile of home buyers and sellers every year. This is the 2020 version. And there are two key points that I want to share with you guys here. Okay. This is like the research and the backup for my whole like mastermind world domination. Exhibit 422. Would the buyer use a real estate agent again or recommend that agent to others? You guys, 76% of people would use you again and recommend you to others. 76%. What an amazing bet is that to make? That this person's going to give me a referral or use me again soon. Right? Think about it. It's huge. It's amazing. And it happens every day, but you have to stay top of mind so that they remember to refer you or remember to call you. And how are you staying top of mind? What are you doing to be in front of them on a regular basis? So that's what we're going to teach you. We're going to give you those ideas of how to stay in front of them so that 76% of the time they're connecting with you, right? That's a huge number. And then exhibit 423, how many times the buyer recommends their agent, right? This is just buyers. Sellers recommend their agents too, right? So you have a double dip if you work with both of them. But the 16% recommend their agent one time, 18% recommend them two times, 11% three times, and four or more times is 22%. That's huge. But guess what? They're not going to do it if you give them shitty service, which is a given, right? And or if you don't remind them to connect you. Okay. And this is not, please listen to me. This is not, hi, who do you know that wants to buy or sell real estate? I never do that, ever. Kelly never does that, ever.
I have never, ever done that. And I still get almost our whole business is referral based. Yeah.
So when I showed you these numbers, Kelly, what were your thoughts?
Oh, my thoughts were that bottom one. So the median is two referrals per client. And I'm seeing that in action in our business after multiple years in a row of working as a relationship-based business. We're on year 5 right now, and all of our business, I mean, last year we sold 65 houses, and it was all but maybe a couple sign calls were all this exact situation of repeat and referrals from our clients in the past. Mm-hmm.
So I love that you just mentioned sign calls. And I think so many agents feel obligated to answer their phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because there might be someone calling on their listing. And that's a lead, right? But you don't have to be 24/7 if you've got a relationship-based business. If it's a client that's calling on a sign, they'll leave a message and wait for you to call them back because they know you and they know that. But you don't have to be stuck to your phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if you have this other business. So Kelly, you're saying only a few of your deals were sign calls. And did you feel like you needed those sign calls, or did you feel like, hey, if they work out, they work out, great?
No, in fact, most of the time when we get a sign call, we're in the middle of something with our family, and I will blast it out to everybody around and say, hey, anybody want to go show this house? I'd be happy to give it to you as a referral and just work with the clients that I already know.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity too. So does anybody think that this is like seriously amazing that 76% of people would definitely use you again? Like that's almost a sure thing. You really have to mess up for this not to happen for you, right? So we're going to give you some ways to make sure that you don't lose that. All right. So back in 2017, I was sitting in the audience of KW Family Reunion in Las Vegas. And this slide came up on the screen and I took a picture and I was like, damn, that's all I need to know. So this, I wish I could get an updated version. I wish I could find more of the full report, but it doesn't exist. I can't get it. If you guys can get it, you will be my hero. But this is the business breakdown of an average agent. Okay. I consider myself an average agent, right? The lead generation budget spend is in blue. And the gross commission income is in orange. Okay. So if you look at referrals, for example, the far left, the budget spend is 11% and the return or gross commission income from that 11% is 36%. So almost 2 times the amount of money that you spend on referrals, you get back in commission, right? This is really good ROI. This is what you want. This is what, if you don't have a ton of money to spend, this is where you want to be. This is the best return on investment you can physically get, right? Next one, sphere of influence. I kind of think it's the same thing as referrals, but to me, it goes in the same bucket. Would you agree, Kelly? It's like the same thing.
Yeah, I pretty much treat them all the same. Mm-hmm.
And repeat business really is the next one too. That's all the same. That's who we're talking about in this class and what we're focused on. And every time, like, sphere of influence costs 3.7% and the return is 25, right? All of these, you're making way more money than you're spending. But then the minute you switch over to online ads, you're spending more than you're making every time. That's not sustainable. You're going to go under. You're going to be in the red. You can't continue that, right? Open houses, almost an even. Now, there are people that do amazing things at open houses. I've not had success with them. If you do, you're an anomaly. We would love to interview you and learn your secrets, right? But open houses, also just don't bring in the business. Cold calling, random strangers. You have to build authority and trust, and that takes time. You can't get that right away. It costs more. Offline ads, like in stupid magazines that nobody looks at anymore, costs more than the return. You also can't track that very well, right? Farming. Now, farming is one thing where I will say it does cost a lot of money up front, and you have to commit to 18 to 24 months of consistent communication. All the money is front loaded. But if I look at farming and I say, okay, it's going to cost me $10,000 for 2 years to farm these people at a rate that will start to get them to call me, then I look at, if I spend that same $10,000 on my referrals, my sphere of influence, and my repeat business, am I going to get more leads faster than 2 years? Yes. And guess what? After that 2 years, you have to keep communicating with them, and it's $10,000 more. So farming works, but it's expensive, but you can do it. You just have to stick with it over the long term. And I always say, like, don't do it unless you have all the money to do it. Door knocking, not bringing that return. So again, these are all great lead generation ideas and ways, and they work for different things. Door knocking works when you got a new listing and you want to meet all the neighbors, but guess what? Then you're creating a personal relationship with those neighbors, and you can continue to grow that relationship and hopefully turn that into a personal relationship, right? This is huge, guys. This is like a no-brainer. And Keller Williams is sharing this with us so that we can be like, oh, this is where we want to spend our money. This is the best use of my time. This is the best use of my funds. Great stuff. All right. So when we're talking about communicating with people, the people that we want to communicate with, we do it in a multimedia fashion. You can communicate with people and stay top of mind by using Facebook, right? You can do it by using Messenger, one-on-one, shooting off messages. You can do it by sending text messages. And I'm going to show you how I do that. Text messages are great. Everybody's in your phone. You can message them. I give you some ideas on that. Bitmoji, one of the things that I like to message and text. Kind of fun, kind of different. You can send emails, right? Although that's getting a little washed out these days, but you can send emails. That's a great way. You can use send out cards, which we'll talk a little bit about. See, and you can have events. That's my favorite one. But what we teach in like the deeper dive session is how to organize your people in group A and group B to make sure that if you have an event and you're limited to a certain amount of people, that you're inviting the right people. Or if you're identifying the people that can help you or give you referrals, that you have those people tagged so that they're the first people that you go to because they want to help you the most, right? Then you move down your list. So let's look at a couple of ways multimedia. And I'm going to let somebody in, and then I want to talk with Kelly about this a little bit, because I think you guys all know that Kelly built her business basically on Facebook with social and grew it there. Facebook is free. It is the fastest, easiest way to grow a tribe, to get people to understand who you are authentically. And, with consistency, you will bring opportunities. Has anybody gotten a piece of business from being on Facebook? Yep. So four of us. So you can, what we teach in the class is we talk about making friend lists. We talk about using Messenger, and there's a little strategy for making likes, comments, and posts depending on who the person is and your relationship with them. So Kelly, tell us a little bit about your Facebook journey and how that's impacted you.
Yeah, I find it so interesting. It always seems like a surprise when I get a new message saying, hey, we were thinking about selling, and just random message in my messenger, but it's really not random. I've been consistently posting about real estate in a way. I've learned so much about what to be posting, and like 80% of your content should be your lifestyle stuff and just documenting your day. 20% of it should be direct. Here's a new open house. Here's a new listing. Here's coming soon. Here's behind the scenes. I'm helping a client get ready for their showings. Here's some updates that are great to be making. Here's updates we've done at our house and how I think that we're going to get a good return on that. So that kind of stuff is sharing that I'm an expert. So people trust me as a realtor. They're seeing our success because of that 20% that I'm sharing. So it's a good mix. And I always go back into my Facebook page and take a look at what kind of mix I have going on there. Is it interesting enough that people are going to stay and pay attention, but not overly salesy? And so you kind of have to learn a good balance for yourself. Personally, I enjoy posting on Facebook and Instagram stories. Instagram stories was where I've been spending most of my time in the last year. I enjoy it. And so it's really easy for me to be consistent at that. And it definitely pays off. So if that's an area that you find fun to do, if you're already posting, then you're the type of person that is going to really reap the rewards of being more consistent and paying more attention to put a strategy around it, essentially. And you will definitely reap the rewards from it. Almost all of our business comes through Messenger, as where the first point of contact is.
That's awesome. And to your point, like, I cannot emphasize this enough. Find something that you vibe with and then blow it up. That's what Kelly did. She's like, I'm good at Facebook. I want to just make this amazing. Right. So hopefully we give you enough kind of little ideas to where when you find that thing, you're going to blow it up. And that's what we do in the course. We blow up every little thing in case that's your thing, and you can really take the ball and run with it. All right. So texting is one of my favorite ways to connect with clients because it's personal. So I think it's Marie Forleo. I can't remember who said this, but when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Right? So I get emails from Joe Biden all the time. Do I really think he's emailing me? No. But if he sends me a text message, I'm probably going to look at that. Now I know that he uses services for that. But the point is, the more one-on-one you can get, and this is kind of like my triangle of influence, and you don't need to be able to read this, but the more one-on-one you get at the top, the more valuable that connection and communication is, the more likely they will be to do business with you or send somebody to do business with you. When you speak to everyone down here, when you're doing advertising and direct mail, you cannot directly connect people with that, right? So it's really important to do one-on-one. And shit, texting's way better than calling people, don't you think? Like, way better. And they get to answer on their own time. So I text messages, memes, Bitmojis, anything. If it's Mother's Day, I'll make a Bitmoji for Mother's Day and just pop it out to a bunch of mothers, right? And I'll show you how I can do that in seconds with my database. But I also use this to invite people to events. I use text message almost exclusively. What's lovely about text message also is that you have a record of all the communications that you had with them. Now, not everybody do I have in my phone. So I also use Messenger in a similar texting way. Same thing. I have a record of all the communications I've had with them. Nothing thrills me more than to go into my phone and invite somebody like, I just had the pumpkin pie event where I give out pumpkin pies, to go in there and text somebody to come get a free pumpkin pie. And the last time I talked to them, we were talking about, I saw you at the baseball game or whatever. It's not about who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate, right? I'm not asking them for something. I'm offering something of value to them. I'm having a true relationship with them. And when I can go in there and ask somebody, because like right now we all have buyers who can't find houses, right? So if I think of a client that's in a neighborhood that would be great for one of my buyers, and I text them and I say, hey, Amanda, I have a buyer that really needs to find a house in your neighborhood. Can you think of anybody that might be thinking about buying or selling, or anybody that's like going to be an empty nester, or somebody that has a house in Florida, something like that? I have no worries connecting with them and asking them for help in my business, because I've just invited them to the pie event. I've then invited them to the ice cream social. We've had a message about getting on our baseball team or whatever. We're having life things. I've shared a recipe, whatever that is. And they're like, yeah, let me help you. But guess what? I'm not just reaching out to them for business help all the time, right? Big difference. I love seeing that track record in the texts. Oh, this came in on the left side. All right, so send out cards. Let's talk about that. That's another tool you can use besides texting and Facebook. So this is Emery. She lost her first tooth at school one day, and she got this little tooth sticker, and she's got her tooth in that bag, and she's showing a picture of herself without a tooth. This is my lender, who is a wealth determiner for my business, huge wealth determiner. If I didn't have a solid lender, I would never be able to sell 40 to 50 houses a year. This is his daughter, and I wanted to celebrate her because he is an A in my life. He is an A relationship, right? Plus, I think it's really cool when you lose a tooth, right? So this was posted on Facebook. I pulled the picture off of Facebook. And this is what I went to Pinterest, which I try to stay off of, and I found this little poem, and I put this little picture in here, and I said, you lost your first tooth, way to go, keep smiling big. And she happens to know me because we hang out sometimes. And so I put my name, but sometimes I put your dad's friend, or, whatever. And let's see what else. I sent her these brownies that were celebrating her tooth being lost. And that's the back of the card that I sent. That's the back of my business card. I have a couple of backs. One is just from my family, and one is, from my coaching business. So this is from my real estate business. And guess what? Emery was so excited to get this because first of all, who doesn't like brownies? And second of all, her picture's on the card. Like, how unique is that? They will never throw this away. This went in their keepsake bin where all the baptism stuff and the first communion stuff is going to go and everything. And over the years, eventually they're going to turn this card around again and see that Amy B was the one that sent it. And oh yeah, she sells real estate. If I'm selling real estate, then. But it is a great way to have a long-term enduring item on their refrigerator with your logo on it. And this is not any request for business. This is just like, oh, and by the way, I sell real estate. You're not asking for business, you're celebrating their child, right? Very natural, very exciting. This is probably the only card she got for losing her first tooth, right? Easy thing to do. We have tons more information on send out cards. We've got Facebook groups on send out cards. We've got examples. I've got a video of how I use send out cards. I have a couple of examples here. My son had a birthday party back in January and it was COVID, so we couldn't really do that much, but we had fun in the yard playing. These are all the friends that came to his party. I just took pictures. Like, everybody takes pictures now that they have cameras on their phone, right? Super easy to do. So let me see here. So this is the picture of him and all his buddies. He's in this Baker Mayfield jersey that he got. And then I got a picture of each of the friends with my son and just said, thanks for coming to my party during COVID. I had a great time running around, and put his name on there. And then I put his picture on the back with the cake, right? Another one, does anybody ever have kids on sports teams? So the boys did a basketball team 2 years ago, right before COVID, this came, and I made this card. The game schedule's in there, and I just snipped it out and put it in there. And then the team roster with all their numbers and the coach's information. Let's go Scorpions. Have a great season. Amy B, eXp Realty. So all the kids on this team, now their parents, now I have all their addresses, and now all their parents know that I sell real estate. Now they're in my database forever, right? If I have an event in Anderson, they're all tagged as Anderson, and I can invite them all just like that, right? Kelly, you've got a great one. This is one I sent to a client after I sold their house. It's just a picture of their house. And thank you for letting us help you. We appreciate it. And then this is me and my buyer's agent on the back with our real estate information. I have a million of these and a million examples. Other people have sent me cards with their card backs on them. Really simple stuff. This is one from the amazing Gail Zintek. Another one from the amazing Gail Zintek. Kelly and I have great mentors for using send out cards. We both use send out cards. Tell us a little bit about your use of send out cards, Kelly.
Yeah, I use it in the same way as you do quite often. And to add to that, we sell 1 to 2 houses every single baseball season to somebody on the team. It's just like inevitable. I'm still selling houses to preschool families that I met when my kids were in preschool. I mean, not even just kid related stuff, but any, like, I've taken yoga classes with the neighborhood and paddleboarding, and I, we've sold their houses. And, but in the real estate sense, here's a couple examples. I have the big card. So this is like this huge jumbo card, and I sent this to our clients that sold last year, moving to Arizona. They absolutely loved their historical Woodstock home, and I wanted to see what a big card looked like, so I sent one to myself. So it comes in this huge envelope with this like card stock so it doesn't get bent. But they adored this house, and they're so sad to be leaving it. So I took the professional photos and put them all on here just as a keepsake for them. It just has the address. I wanted it to not have too many words so they could keep this.
How much did that cost you, that card?
I think I'm part of the $97 a month program. And so I think the big card was only like a $250 upgrade maybe. So the smaller cards are free, but this one I think was an extra couple bucks. It was all. And then on the back, I almost always go with just our family and hardly ever put, I do have our website on here, daveandkellydavis.com. I don't really put our business too often unless it's like the baseball team where they don't even all know that we're in business. These people, we're their realtors. They know who we are, and we need to be top of mind to them so they remember our names is essentially all. And then here's how the brownies come if you're sending them to somebody. They come in this cute little box. Open that up. Your card will be inside here in a clear envelope.
Yeah, so this is what Emery got. She got a little box like this with her card.
It comes like a little gift. It comes in an envelope. And then this was a client that they were downsizing and they had this gorgeous backyard that felt like you were in Colorado and you were really in Algonquin, Illinois. So it was like a huge shocker. They had a waterfall. So I just snapped a couple photos when they were showing us around at the very first meeting. And then same thing, I used our picture. I just wanted them to really connect with us. And I just sent, I think this was just, we're so excited for the opportunity to market your beautiful home is all it says. And then you get, a 2-pack of brownies and it's all cute in here. So we use it in this way when we're meeting with new clients, just as a special way to connect with them, and the people love it.
Yeah. And so just so you guys understand, Send Out Cards has different packages that you can be a part of. And I think Send Out Cards is fun. I love it. I enjoy doing it. It makes me happy. I get text messages back from people like, oh my God, I love the card. And that just makes it all even better, right? Like it's a double boost of the good stuff. And I will share with you that box and that card and everything that Kelly showed you there in that little package, that's $7.50. $7.50. That's less than $10. And the goodwill that you get from that, like I send that little package to somebody when they, as soon as I can, when they reach out to me to sell their house. And maybe I drive by and take a quick picture and I send it. And I'm like, I'm looking forward to talking with you about the opportunity to help you meet your real estate goals, right? Or make your real estate goals happen. And I send that. When I get to the listing appointment or when I go to their house, it's on the refrigerator and they're like, thank you so much for these brownies. They're amazing, because they're really good if you haven't had them. And guess what? The law of reciprocity says that people, no matter what kind of gift they get from you, feel obligated to return the favor. So they're not going to cancel that appointment with you. They're going to sit there and really listen to you even more because they feel like they owe that to you for the kindness that you shared with them. So it's $7.50. It's the most great return on investment that you can have. I mean, the card that I sent as a thank you, this house was $650,000 and I made 4% on it. That's a lot of freaking money. And $7.50. So really easy stuff, so affordable. And it's lead generation. You know what's funny is I train agents all the time. I do business planning with agents all the time. And when we get to talking about, how there's always like 2 or 3 hours a day that you're supposed to block for lead gen. And they're like, I just hate that. And I'm like, why do you hate it? Because I have to make all these phone calls. And I'm like, what if I told you that you can do 2 hours of lead gen and never pick up the phone, except maybe if you want to text somebody? I'm like, oh, I would do that. So for our course, we've created a list of like 25 things that you can do besides call someone and ask for business. And it counts as lead gen. Send Out Cards has I'm on the 97 plan too, but one of my favorite plans is the 30 card a month plan. And it's like $37 or something. And it's your lead gen. You maximize your money by sending 30 cards. If you've not sent any cards, sending 30 is more than nothing. It is limited to 30 cards, but work up to that and then increase your package, right? But that counts. Those 30 cards are lead generation. It's staying top of mind. And Kelly, I don't mind that you just put your family's picture on there because that is an endearing thing to connect people. It's like saying, I am supporting my freaking family. Know that I have a family that I need to support, and thank you for that support, right? You could even say on the back, thank you for allowing me to support my family with your business. We are all grateful, you know. A lot of people will say that they really want to have their personal logo on the back and their business information because they feel better about this as a write-off with their business information on the back. And I think our clients understand that too. They know how business works. There's enough people doing this now to where they know that sometimes you have to make that official, right? So however you choose to do it. Now, I will tell you, for whatever reason, I send a lot of sympathy cards. I never put my business stuff on there, ever. I have a little, like a nice little family thing that I sent. But send out cards is so fun. I've got a Facebook group. I've got a great video on how I send out. We've got a million examples. And if you have not had a card and brownies, message me or Kelly, we will get you on. And Kelly has a link if you guys want to join. And this is not something that you need to do today, but if you would like access to this amazing, super affordable, high return on investment tool, reach out to Kelly and she will get that to you.
Yeah, I popped a link into the chat there, straight to the pricing page. It'll give you the different options, but I can post it in our group also. And for people like Karen that don't like chocolate, they have caramels, they have other gifts.
Yeah, and the gifts come and go. Like right now, I believe they have a lot of great ones, but they always have the brownies. Mm-hmm. And you get a discount on the brownies if you're a member, and you get a discount on the shipping and all of that. So you can send me brownies anytime you want. Just saying. Brownies and Pearl Jam tickets. Okay. Client events are my favorite thing. In fact, I'm just going to be baking on Friday of this week. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to be here baking Christmas cookies all day, why don't I just invite some friends over? Not everybody's available during the day, but if they are, and guess what? I was thinking of them. So I sent them a text and I said, hey, I'm going to be baking at my house all day on Friday. Do you want to come over? This is an unofficial event. But when Kelly and I were talking about all the components of this course, I said, Kelly, why don't you do events? And she's like, Facebook's my thing. Like social media is my thing. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I'm consistent with. That's what I enjoy. I would do it anyway. And that's the key. I would do it anyway. And so when I was saying to her, like, she was like, I don't know about events. And I was like, you know what? I would do events anyway. Like I literally spontaneously realized that I could have people over to enjoy cookies with me on Friday. Why not do that? Right? And it's a mini event. It's not an official event because people are just going to come and go, but I reach out to them. I'm staying top of mind. They're knowing me, right? So client events are things I would do anyway. I am Monica from Friends. I love to host things. I love to cook and bake and make things fun and pretty and all of that. I don't go to the psycho Pinterest level of themes and all of that, but I love to have people over and enjoy their company and have fun things. So client events, I love to do. You know, my boys are now 9 and almost 11. So we have a really family-based business and we are families. So we do a lot of family-based stuff. And my first event was the Santa photos event where I said, you know, people need photos with Santa, but they hate going to the mall and standing in these long lines. So I'm going to have Santa come to me. We're going to get cookies and these families are going to come in and out and get pictures. I did that for 12 years. Kind of glad that COVID happened so that I could like stop. And then I didn't do it again this year. So now I'm on the pie kick because kids are getting older and I kind of wanted to stop doing the photos with Santa. But photos with Santa is amazing because then all these families are posting the photos that they got from your event, tagging you, and then all their family and friends see that. So it's like a web when you get that photographer involved. The Earth Day birthday was super easy. I bought a bunch of ice cream at Sam's Club or Costco or whatever. I had it in my freezer in my garage, opened the garage doors, cleaned out the garage. It was a great excuse to do that. My landscaper bought all these like baby trees, and we gave those away in some recycled bags that I had created with my logo on them. So it was like a little event, something to do in April to celebrate Earth Day. We had tons of people come. It was really fun. It was super affordable. I think it cost me like $400 to do that event because the landscaper bought all the trees. Summer wine mixer, that's the only one that I kind of did that was like more adults only. And we just had a bunch of wine, and that's one where I experimented with having some sponsors in a little different way. And we talk about sponsors in the course and how to get your events paid for and different ways to do it and not do it. Now I do annual sponsorships. So my sponsors sponsor a bunch of money, and then, you know, they're part of all of the events. And then We Love You a Latte. One of my favorite events, super duper easy, great first time event. You basically just show up at a coffee shop, you buy like a gift card, or you tell the people at the counter that you're buying coffee, and then you invite a bunch of people to come during a window and you pay for coffee. My first coffee event, I think I spent $120 because I bought a $100 gift card and $20 is something else, right? And I had 12 people come, and that's fine. But guess what? I invited over 500 people in February. Think about February for real estate, right? The next year I had even more people come. The next year, even more people came. And now it's a big thing for Valentine's Day. I do it right around Valentine's Day. It's super easy. You can usually get your lender to buy a couple gift cards, and then that's what you're using for the coffee, or go to a small business. The last year I did it, I actually bought coffee for every single freaking person that walked through the door. And I met some new people, and some people ticked my card that didn't know me, right? And that was $500 to spend that. $500 is not a lot of money when I'm connecting and I'm inviting my vendors, my lender, my landscaper, my inspector. Everybody's coming to get a coffee. Coffee is so affordable, right? But like I told Kelly was like, I don't know. I was like, well, I would do this anyway. I want to have parties anyway, because it's a great excuse to get stuff done in your house that you need to get done, or buy the fancy dish that you want to display your charcuterie on, or whatever it is that you like to do, right? I mean, there are benefits to having parties. I just got my pantry done, so I'm going to have people over to look at it while I'm making cookies. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty fantastic. Kelly, any comments at this?
I always hear, and feel free to pop it in the chat, why do you not do events? So for me, at the time of it does feel like work to me. And that was the funny thing with Amy. I don't remember what exactly our conversation was, but it was like a light bulb moment when you're like, I would do this anyway. This is not extra work. And I'm thinking, I would post on Facebook anyway. It's not extra work. It's just what you can do. But I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm afraid no one will show up. Or, you know, so give us some ideas about that. Can we pair up with people? Like, what do you say about that?
I don't care who shows up to my events. The magic and the money is in the invitation. And a lot of the books that I shared in your group today that I've read, it's about the thought that counts. It's about including people in your life, and it's about reaching out to them one-on-one and saying, Kelly, I'm having this event. I would love for you and your family to come and enjoy ice cream with us. Whether you come or not, it doesn't matter, because we just had a one-on-one connection. And that may start a conversation. Oh, you know what? We're going to be at baseball at that time. Oh my gosh, who's playing baseball? How are they doing? Blah, 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 blah. And now they're at baseball and they're thinking about me because we just had this conversation, and somebody says they need to sell a house, and there you go, right? You're top of mind. So you don't have to have people at your event. The people who come want to be there, and you want to embrace that, right? So that's the special part. Now, you can have events with tons of people there, but are you really going to get to talk to all those people? That's the key, is when they're there, you want to have a meaningful conversation with them. So to me, it really doesn't matter, but I will tell you that I've coached people on doing events, and it is a process. I just shared with you that I think it was in 2017, I did my first Love You a Latte event, and we had 12 people come. I got pictures with all 12 people. I sent all 12 people a card and send out cards and thank them and all of that, right? I wasn't doing anything that day anyway. So the next year we had probably 35. So it builds on that, or they remember like, oh, are you doing that again? I'll come. And there's different ways to get people to come with like door prizes. And then, you know, like one time I shared with my lender that he could invite people and he didn't really want to, so he didn't. But, you know, if you have a sponsor and you want to go in with somebody, that's a great thing to do. I have always just had solo events because I want to be very intentional about who I'm talking to, who I'm inviting, and making sure that everybody there is mine and that they have a great experience. But you can do events with other people if you want, or you could do an area event with other agents, and just look for your people to come and enjoy. But the magic is in the invitation. It's truly in how many people can you invite? Because guess what? I have tons of people in my database. And the reason why I have events is so that I have an excuse to reach out to them. That's not asking them who they know to buy or sell real estate. So the invitation to something of value or something fun is a benefit to them receiving. Whether they come or not, it doesn't matter. They're still getting the message that you care about them, you're thinking about them, and you sell real estate because you put your logo on everything. Does that answer your question, Kelly? Did you want me to say?
Yeah, we have in the comments there, in the chat, Shamar is asking for the Starbucks event, do you have any handouts or anything that you give to the people that are buying drinks, or just the invitation?
No, I text like what, can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I text just the image, join us for coffee. I don't do any sales pitches there, nothing, but you know, I don't know about you guys, but my husband's like, every time we go to something, people ask you about real estate. And I'm like, well, that's just what happens. Like, I'm not saying, ask me about real estate. It just happens when they know that you're an agent, right? So if you're texting them, inviting them to stuff, when you do actually see them out at a basketball game and they say, how's the market? It's crazy, I've heard, blah, blah, blah. That's how they know that you're in real estate, whether you've directly told them or not. And that opens up that conversation and starts it. And if you can start that any way other than saying, who do you know that wants to buy or sell real estate? You win. Big points, right? Any other questions?
Erin is asking, do you use any service to send out the texts invites to everybody? Is this one-on-one?
When you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So I do not use a service.
Okay.
I send them individually to everyone. And I'm going to show you how I do that really fast. Also, my little trick. What else, Kelly?
That is it for right now.
Okay. Well, it looks like I took out the slide where I show you how I do it. So I'll put it on the screen. Really quick side note, you can do virtual events. And I think you guys saw that we recently did our virtual Halloween coloring contest. You can do an Easter coloring contest. You can do an essay contest. You can do all kinds of things online. We also, during the pandemic, I created a mobile event where I go and drop things off to people. In that mobile event that I did in June of 2020, I dropped off 30 boxes of donuts on National Donut Day. From those 30 deliveries that I made, now I made 20 and my buyer's agent made 10, we split them up. In the first 6 months from June until the end of the year, after we dropped those off from those 30 people, I sold $3 million in real estate. Okay. Then there were some stragglers, right? Some people that were like, I'm going to sell it, not till next year. In the following 6 months from that, from January to June, we had like $1 million of stragglers. So that's like $30,000, guys, plus the other 60 from the previous, 90 from the previous 2 million or 3 million before that. So I spent $550 on donuts and spent a whole day dropping them off. And I sold $4 million of real estate as a result. So in this class, I teach you who to give the benefits to, how to get them to respond in terms of business opportunity and very low cost to sale on this, very low. So that's some fun stuff, right? The next steps, January 26th is the class coming up. 6 weeks of Zoom calls that'll be recorded. And if you have an interest in joining us, please direct message Kelly. She has the keys to the kingdom on this one. And let's just say this will be my little bonus to you guys for being on the call. What is the best CRM? Kelly, what's the best CRM?
The one you'll use.
Whatever it is. I'll be honest with you guys. I use my send out cards database more than anything. It's got an app on my phone. If I have to drop something off, if I have to send something, I just look it up right there. Let me show you my best CRM and how I quickly send text messages and invitations. Wait a minute. Let me turn off my video. Stop share. All right. Now it's just me, right? This is my phone book. I just opened up my contacts. Can you guys see the hearts in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Can you guys see the pineapples in front of everybody? Some little houses on there. This is how I'm categorizing my contacts. Okay. So in the class, we teach you like how many A's you should have, how many B's you should have, separating different things out, right? So in my A's, all I have to do is it's organized for me right there, all the A's. So if I am early for an appointment, I can go to my contacts and be like, oh, I haven't talked to Drew in a while. Let me text him and see how he's doing. But more importantly, if I want to invite a bunch of people to an event like the ice cream social or something, I just click on the person, attach the picture, send. Click on the person, attach the picture, send. Right? I can invite 100 people in like 5 minutes because it's all right here. So I've created, like, I already have their numbers anyway, right? Because they've done business with me. So then I categorize them and I put the emoji in front of their picture, and that tells me what level they are. So remember how when you got married, you only had so many seats that you could have? It's the same thing. You only have so many relationships that can be quality and can be good. And you know, you got to start somewhere. So invite your most important people first and let them RSVP first and fill up your room of the best people. Then go down the list. So my A's are hearts and my B's are pineapples, and there's more B's, right? And we teach you how to organize and categorize those and what works for you in your business based on where you're at with your business. And sometimes those B's, they move up to A's because now they're quality friends, or now they've given you a referral, or now they've done business with you. But this is awesome. I can quickly send Mother's Day messages or Happy Father's Day or whatever on here. And it's just the best, fastest way to communicate with people based on what you're already doing. So I'm, like Kelly said, you know, she's already using Facebook. That's great. I already have my phone organized. So I'm going to kill this all the time because it's super easy. And I am the most chronic early person you've ever met, like annoyingly early. So I'll just sit there in my car and just catch up with people because I've got 15 minutes to kill, right? Great use of time. And that counts as lead generation. And it's fun. You're texting people. How can that not be fun, right? It's easy. So that is like my favorite thing. I did not make this up. I got this from another awesome EXP agent in Florida who showed me how they were using their iPhone. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do that and tell other people about it. So that's all I got for you guys. It's 10:26 or 11:26. 10:26 your time, I guess. What questions do you have? Did anybody find anything that they connected with, that they're like, oh, I'm going to do that. That sounds like fun. I'm going to do that. I can do that. That's possible. Let me try that. I will tell you that it just takes practice and consistency, and people will expect it from you, right? They'll know. But what I ask is that if you got value out of this, then let's thank Kelly by reaching out to her. And if you have more questions or want to be a part of our full-on course where we teach you all of the extra tools and how to do them and what they look like and give you copies of everything, reach out to Kelly. She will get you the information you need. She'll make that work. She'll get you the links that you need to sign up and be a part of it. And, it's exciting. It's a fun way to lead generate. It makes me thrilled to do my business. It doesn't feel like work when I lead generate this way. I have tried to do expireds. I've tried to do FSBOs. I've tried to do all kinds of technology-based lead generation and have all the systems on the internet and pay for all the contracts and, sign up for a year and blah, 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 blah. Just doesn't work. Relationships feel the most authentic to me as a person and the most rewarding. So that's what I've just embraced over the years. And I've dug all the way down on this to find the best things. And so I'm going to cut your learning curve and just teach you all the things that I've painstakingly compiled and created over the last 16 years. And I taught Kelly some of those things, and she's kind of on the fast track too, right?
Yeah, Amy, all of your courses are so there's nothing surface level about them. I feel like everywhere you go, you find training that's so surface level, and you can get a taste of that in our private group where we did the nitty gritty on how to do the Halloween coloring contest down to here's me in Canva making stuff, and here's how I'm sending it, and here's how I'm creating that. To your pumpkin pie event, you shared some details more specifically about that. I just feel like everything is so in depth, and I have already seen a sneak peek of the full outline of what is going to be in each of the 6 weeks, and I'm really excited to learn. I might even start doing events. I know we're going to be talking about a bunch of other areas as well, but yeah. You make it so easy having all of the tools in place, and you're taking a lot of the work out of it, and just it's on a platter. Like, here's what I do to have a great business. I don't know who wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to have a partnership option and a paying option. So everyone is welcome to contact me and get more information about joining that next course starting in January.
I'm excited. I'll pull up the chat. I haven't been watching that to see.
I think we covered most of it. We covered if you don't have a very big database. That's something that you kind of went over. You don't really need a big database. Though I do try to grow it. My database is every person I meet that is local, I will send them a friend request on Facebook and they will find me. And that way I don't have to talk real estate to them. They will see my Top Producer magazine came out. You're like, yeah, she must know what she's doing,
Well, I will share with you on that don't have a big database thing. I moved to Anderson Township 8 years ago. And I did very little business in Anderson Township, and I wanted to grow that because I just wanted to be hyper local. So I didn't have to drive all over town and spend my time in the car. So I didn't have a very big Anderson database when I moved here, but I grew it because I was at my kids' event and I met another mom there, or baseball or soccer, or them going to preschool. Like you said, like, look at what you're doing on a daily basis and take a look around and say, how can I maximize what I'm already doing? Don't make more work for yourself by joining a BNI group or getting involved in something that you're not really connected with. I used to help families. I used to help people shop for families at Christmas, right? So if you wanted a family to adopt, you would come to me, I would get that family for you, and then we would arrange coming back. That's something that I love to do. That's something that I did anyway. But now I'm making connections with these other giving people that want to make that connection, and I'm getting their information, and they're counting on me, and they see that I am following through with what I do. And then they refer to me. So that organization, every single person on that board ended up buying a house with me over the years. You know, so doing things that you authentically already do, and then just blow that up, just dig in and just blow it up, right? So my husband coached the basketball team, and now I have 20 people that now know that I sell real estate because I sent them a card with the schedule. And guess what? Their grandparents were like, can I get one of those? Yeah, give me your address. Now they're in my database. So it's easy to grow your database if you really take a look at what is it that you're doing. Your hairdresser, your dentist, your lash and eyebrow person, like they're all talking to people that are thinking about buying and selling real estate.
Yeah, your church groups, your gym, your
you wear like an EXP or whatever jacket, and they see that every day, and that's you sell real estate, and they just know that. It's a trigger, right? What else, Kelly?
That's all I've got. Anybody else have anything